How many of y'all saw that post where the dude tested a woman on the first date, and he tested her by saying he left his wallet at home, asking her to pay for the date that he invited her on, and then she got up and walked out, and he was like, yeah, that wasn't the one for me. How many of y'all saw that? I don't know how many of y'all saw that. I posted it on my page. I was looking at some of the responses, and I was really proud that a lot of women peeked that this was nonsense. This was BS. Like the dude was playing, right? Not just because he tested her. Now, at least this is what I feel. Not just because he tested her. But I realized something. A lot of people will test you to see how much BS you can take, to see how low your standards are, to see what boundaries of yours that you can cross or you know, they can cross without you doing anything about it. A lot of people will test you. And I'm going to say this. There's some tests you need to be willing to fail. Depending on the test, there's some tests you need to be willing to fail. If a person tests you and a passing grade is you not speaking up for yourself, you need to be willing to fail that test. If a dude tests you and the passing grade is you being like, you letting him play in your face, yeah, you need to fail that test. Or you're not going to turn up on him. You're not going to check him. You need to fail that test. If a dude tests you by trying something sexual with you early on, inviting you over for a first date at his house, anything like that, any kind of disrespect, if he tests you in that way, you need to fail that test. However, let me be very clear. I do believe in allowing a person to show their true colors. And I believe that as a woman, and I'm saying this as a man, you need to take advantage of opportunities to let that man show his true colors. So many of y'all go in and you ready to educate a man, teach a man, show a man, guide a man towards your heart. And you haven't first seen where his is. Where are his values? I believe in the very beginning, especially, letting the man do what he wants to do so you can see what he would rather do, with exception to him crossing any boundaries, you know, violating anything like that. But just letting the man move. You don't coach somebody who ain't even made the team, right? You ain't coaching and doing all of this disclaimers and, hey, this is it. That's a mistake a lot of y'all make. Y'all getting on the dating scene, y'all get on the first, second date, and y'all telling this man every single fine print on exactly what you want, what you don't want, et cetera, so this man know how to play the part. But there's a lot of hurt that you can avoid if you do let a man show his true colors, and you avoid that filter that changes it from what it is. I was talking about this last night with my Self-Crown VIP members, but I'm going to give y'all kind of a top level. There's 3 ways to ethically allow a man to show his true colors. And before I get into them, let me be very clear. This ain't about being deceptive. This ain't about being manipulative. This ain't about playing games. This is about being very intentional about the place you're going to place your heart, the hands in which you're going to allow to hold your heart. Before they let you into the police academy, they put you through a test. Before they let you into the army, they're going to put you through some kind of basic training or something like that to see if you're ready. Before food can be approved by the FDA, they test the ingredients. The list goes on. There's a such thing as saying, hold on, let me see what's going to happen here with this small sample size so I can see if it's safe to invest more. Before they give you a $50,000 credit card, they're going to see what you do with $500. They're going to allow you to show them with a small sample, an example, so they can see what you're going to do going forward. So if you're dealing with a man and you're getting ready to give him your heart, you're getting ready to give him access to your life, maybe your children or have children with him, and you're just going to go in blind? No, sis. Now, I'm not advocating for you playing games, being deceptive. Again, it's all about what you're testing for. What are you allowing this man to show you? And whenever things organically are happening, are you paying attention? Because that's the test. God going to allow the test on his own. You ain't got to create this and create that. But if you want to be assertive, that's fine. So long as you're testing still for the right things. If you're testing for ethics and respect, that's fine. This is how you can protect your heart. I'm going to give you 3 off top. One is when, this is one way to let a man show his true colors. Off top. Wait for the opportunity to not meet his expectations. I'm not saying you tell him you're going to do something and you break that promise. I'm not saying that. But in every situation, in every dating experience, whatever, there's always going to be something that comes up where he's going to have an expectation and you're not going to be able to meet it. Now, the mistake a lot of women make here is they say, well, I'm a people please. I'm a find a way. I'm going to do all of this disclaimer and stuff like that. No. For instance, first off, you got to know what his expectations are. You need to be having the right conversations to understand what that man's expectations are. Does he expect to have sex after 2 weeks? Does he expect you to pay for a date after he done took you on 2 or 3 dates? What does he expect, first and foremost, okay? Now, when the situation organically and authentically comes up, instead of covering and doing whatever you can so that you show yourself approved, you may not have capacity one day. He may expect to talk to you one night, and guess what? You just can't talk tonight. And so you let him know, hey, I'm not really in a headspace. I wanted to talk to you, and this is authentic here. I wanted to talk to you. I was looking forward to it, but I'm just not in a headspace. I'd much rather talk tomorrow. So here you're not meeting his expectation of talking like he thought. How does he respond whenever you don't meet his expectation? This is a chance to see if you're dealing with a compassionate man or a selfish man. Are you dealing with a critical man? Or one that's going to meet you with empathy, even whenever it doesn't serve him necessarily. If you got a man that has the right heart posture in a situation where you don't meet his expectation, but you weren't dubious, you didn't set him up, you didn't do nothing crazy, you just didn't meet his expectation this time. If you got a man whose heart is built on compassion and empathy, he's going to first and foremost be concerned about your well-being. This ain't gonna get turned up on you. This ain't gonna be used as a way for him to get a pass to do whatever he wants to do. He's not gonna get all critical. He's not gonna start wagging his finger at you about a woman supposed to da-da-da-da-da. Let that man show his true colors. Don't over-explain. Don't cover for it. If you authentically are tired, stretched thin today, you now have the test. God has given you the test to show his true colors on what's gonna happen in the future should you ever be short on capacity. The wrong man for you is going to go to criticize you, be selfish, have suspicions that you really out here with another man. You pay attention because dating is about gathering data. The right man for you, especially if he thinks you're sick or something like that, he going to DoorDash or Instacart some groceries, maybe some soup, something like that. Say, hey, man, we can't talk, but I'm going to just, write you a letter or something like that. Because you've been on my mind all day. So whenever you get the capacity, you can read it. Send you some kind of sweet message or something like that. I'll be here whenever you do get capacity. It's all good. The right man for you. That's number one. That's one way. Whatever it is. Maybe he's expecting sex. Maybe you turned up and you ready to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been talking, y'all going to have sex. And then one day you say, you know what? I'm really not up for it. How does he respond? Now, if this is something that's happening over and over again, any man just like y'all would rightfully have an issue. Like, hold on, this is becoming a pattern where, you can't do this thing that you said you were going to do or that we could do. So help me understand how we can correct this. But if there's one situation that comes up and you cannot do or engage a certain way and he's so rigid because you said this, that's him showing his true colors. Another way to let that man show his true colors is to get in an opportunity, get in a situation. Do not avoid situations where that man has the ability to either respect you or not respect you. We're not talking about manipulation. I got to be clear because when we hear somebody say test, we a lot of times think of men especially, but sometimes women that will test somebody according to BS. There's a difference between testing somebody and hazing them. Like where I'm from, man, I went to HBCU. They had sororities, fraternities. Some of y'all probably get them, and they had hazing. I was like, that's just abuse. That ain't a test. But get in a situation where that man has the opportunity to respect or not respect you. For instance, some of y'all just want to go to spaces where, everybody at church and, get in a place where there's other beautiful women. Get in a place where he could be friendly, too friendly to somebody or not. Get in environments that allow you to see how this man's eyes move. Other women thinking, like you may go to the bathroom or something like that. Y'all at a yacht party. Y'all at a lounge. Y'all at a whatever. Get in a situation where you get to see where this man's heart is at when it comes to respecting you and making sure others do the same. If you're not paying too much attention to where he at or what he got going on, and you see his eyes sticking in different places, that man is showing you his true colors. Allow the true colors to show. The mistake a lot of y'all make is y'all get in these situations and off top, you ready to check him and you badger him about where his eyes going. No, let his eyes wander. And then you wonder the heck off, you know what I'm saying? If he ain't handling his business. You wonder off if the principles aren't in place that understand it's important to respect you, even with where he allows his attention to stick. I ain't saying glancing, you know, to you be policing and that kind of thing. But you know when a man is just breaking his neck and staring or whatever. Don't avoid those places in the beginning. Don't avoid those places. You got pretty homegirls? Like, hang out together. See if that man, see how he act. I'm telling you, a lot of y'all, I don't want to play these games. You know what game you playing when you don't gather data? Russian roulette. You're going to go straight in blind and gamble your heart. And if you ever gave your heart to somebody, truly gave your heart to somebody, you know how much power that they have over your mental and emotional well-being. Can we keep it real for a second? People act like they just so doggone impenetrable and just RoboCop out here. When you give your heart to somebody, they have the ability to break you, or at least feel like you breaking. If you really love hard, you can't play with that. You bring $100 bill to the bank, guess what they're going to do? They're going to write on that thing with the little marker. They're going to test it. You giving your heart, which worth way more than $100, and you want to go in blind? Go ahead, do your thing. Do your thing. And one more way to let a man show his true colors. I just want to give y'all, see your ex is Russian guy trying to tell you something now. I just want to give y'all the game, man, because I'm your big brother. You know I got your back. And if you got something valuable from this already, hit the share button, because I feel like nobody else is going to teach you this. Not for free, but I got you. Third way, let a man show his true colors. Get around people that he respects. Get around people that respect him. Friends, family, network. Get around people like that. And when it authentically comes up, when it organically comes up, because we're not being manipulative, express your disagreement with him respectfully. Don't turn up on him. Just, he expresses something. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel differently. Stay respectful. Stay ladylike. But express the disagreement. Again, so many of y'all get in these situations and you refrain from saying something because you don't want to offend. You don't want to, if he is offended, you want to know exactly how he responds to that. If he's embarrassed simply by you disagreeing, this is you allowing his true colors to show in reference to his ego. He around his homeboys, right? He around his network of other men. You're in the conversation. You're brought into the conversation somehow, some way. It's going to happen. And you simply disagree with him. Don't argue him down. Don't call him a dummy. Nothing disrespectful. But in this situation, you're going to allow that man to reveal if he has a fragile ego. If he has a fragile ego, expect that man to pout. Expect him to want to punish you or retaliate at some point or another, whether he wants to ghost you or get really quiet with you or whatever. If you got a man with a fragile ego, expect him to want to pull you aside and say, hey, you can never do nothing like that. Why would you challenge me? You gonna say this? You got me in front of people. If you with a man with a fragile ego, that's what he's gonna do. If you with a man who's in full charge of his ego, because I think it's okay for a man to have an ego so long as he's got it in check. But if you with a man who's secure within himself, he's gonna want you to speak even more on that. Oh, you disagree? Okay, well maybe I can learn something. Tell me more about it. He's gonna honor your voice. He's going to allow you to, hey man, maybe I'm tripping. That's a humble man who's secure with himself, and whatever social circle he's built, it's not built on ego. It's not built on facade. It's not built on this perception of perfection. That's where you're allowing that man, somebody said a challenge. Yes, you're allowing that man to show you how he responds to being challenged by you. Believe it or not, sis, there are men out here who believe a woman should not be challenging him. As if you're not worthy of challenging him. Like you shouldn't have a mind of your own and a different way to perceive. You don't have value to add to how he already sees the world. Keep it real with yourself. There are men out here who believe a woman's place is to simply nod, be pretty, seen, not heard. And so in this situation, you're allowing that man to show his true colors. All I'm saying, I'm not saying manufacture situations where this man is going to go against his religious beliefs or his core values. I'm not saying do that. Please don't do that. That's the kind of testing I'm totally against. And men do that. Women do that. Don't do that. But when it organically presents itself, do not pass up the opportunity to see how this man is going to move. And take that small data collection that small data sample, and you use that as a way to make an educated decision about whose hands you're about to put your heart into. Or else you're going to end up with somebody, you know what? Every time you've gotten hurt and you've thought about it, it's something that you wish you had paid attention to before. It's a situation that you didn't see coming up, and it came up. And dear God, if you had just known that he would do this thing, you would have stayed away from this man. You would have walked away from this man. Hey, am I speaking facts or fiction? Y'all tell me down in the comments. In every situation where a man embarrassed you, hurt you, played in your face, disrespected you, there was something that took place when it really, really hurt that you wish you had seen before you got attached to that man. Facts or fiction? You wish you had paid attention to this. Like, wow, I wish I could have seen how he was whenever I went out of town, how he was whenever this happened. I wish I had, man. And maybe he did show you something, but you were not thinking about paying attention and analyzing that and allowing that to be the data collection so you can know whether or not this was safe grounds to invest your heart. Okay. And let me tell you something. If you with a man, or if you've ever been with a man that played in your face like that multiple times, you likely have a soul tie. And the only way I would say you can, well, there's multiple ways you can qualify. But one way that you can qualify if you have a soul tie is if after that man, something about you changed going forward. And the thing about you that changed didn't necessarily add happiness. It added a certain level of vigilance, but it feels more like a little bit of paranoia, distrust, expectation, to be disappointed. If it feels like that, there's a soul tie still in place that needs to be broken. Now, again, I'm not going to go too far in depth because I just did the masterclass. This is my newest masterclass on breaking the soul tie, and it's free. But if you want more on that, if you think you have a soul tie, most of y'all honestly got a soul tie, if not multiple. Whether it's an ex or just a flame or something, just maybe it's just a sexual encounter that you have with somebody. And this change of vibration in terms of what you attract. That's why you might be continuing to attract the same caliber of man, even though this one got more money, even though this one came from a 2-parent household, even though this one looks different, it's from a different place or whatever. If that's you, click the link. You're gonna want to get the steps to cut that soul tie. And I laid them out in my free masterclass, Breaking the Soul Tie. The link is down here. It's Derek'sFreeMasterclass.com. I made it easy for you. Derek'sFreeMasterclass.com, my most recent free masterclass. It's also in the links. Christy Jane, you said, how do you break soul ties? I literally laid it out. There are several steps, and then it's about being able to stay free from that soul tie so you can be in position for the man God has for you. Content-packed free masterclass right here if you want more on that subject. Moral of the story is this: what can't be tested can't be trusted. Y'all be so afraid to go out here and do your due diligence vetting somebody. But if you got a baby, for those of y'all who are parents, even if you ain't got a baby, but if you got a baby and somebody says, I can babysit your child, do you just say, okay, cool, I don't want to play no games, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to let God do the work. I don't want to play no games. I'm just going to let it happen. I'm going to let the universe place the right babysitter in front of me. Here goes my child. Take the child to your house, or I'm going to drop the child over at your house, and we just good. No! You want to see how they've handled the rest of their life. You want to see data on this person before they get access to something so important. So whether it's a background check, references, some kind of way, you want data based on a collection of events, especially one relevant to what you're getting ready to do. How have they handled other babies? How have they been with other children? Are there other parents that vouch for them? Something that gives you data on this person. I do not know why y'all are going in to dating experiences blind, trusting the universe. Even God said faith without work is dead. You got to put in some type of work to verify and validate who this person is. You got to do some kind of background check. And the best background check is the one that they're going to give you in the very beginning. Word to the wise. If you got anything of value from this, man, hit the share button. I'm your big brother. I'm just looking out for y'all. I do this for free. I'm about to go into the gym now. But if you got something of value, hit the share button so somebody else can also get value from this. And if you want access to my free masterclass, if you want more of this right here, it's about an hour and a half though. So take some time out because you really about to get some gems dropped on you. Derek'sFreeMasterclass.com. The link is down here. If you click that little link button, I think if you're watching on, an iPhone or something, you can see a little link down at the very bottom. Click that. It'll take you to the masterclass. Hour and a half of how to break